Pretty much go out there and just work hard and try to be the best person I can be.
Tyrone Lewis Washington Jr., aka Ty Washington, born November 15, 2001. With professional sports being one of the more coveted jobs in today's society, it's understandable when you see so many athletes do whatever they can to get one of those jobs as soon as possible. Specifically with basketball, because of the rules, the quickest way to get one of those jobs is to spend 1 year in college and head to the NBA draft, becoming a one and done. It's a gift and a curse because on one hand, it's difficult to tell a player who's had some good games in his first season in college, now is getting more attention and positive reviews, not to take the opportunity to be drafted if there's a first round guarantee. That gives them at least 4 years in or affiliated with the NBA, and hopefully he develops on that level to secure a second contract. But the flip side of that is a player who was a highly touted high school prospect goes to play for a school and coach with a track record of sending players to the league and has some big games, averages enough points, and enters the draft not developed enough and not ready for that level of competition, and is out the league after those first round pick 4 years. Today's feature is the perfect example of the latter. For Ty Washington, things all lined up perfectly for him to have his shot at a first round draft pick, even though many things suggested he wasn't quite ready to have success on that level and maybe needed extra time before he made the jump. Leaving early for the NBA draft used to be an obvious thing that's become somewhat of a fad or trend in the last decade or so, where average players talent-wise are showing glimpses of NBA talent and are pushed to the NBA draft. We knew LeBron James was advanced and had the talent to translate to the NBA. We knew Kobe was a different breed and had no need to spend time in college. Even when the rules changed, we knew Kevin Durant didn't need that extra year at Texas, or Carmelo Anthony was ready to be a productive player after his first season at Syracuse, and if not for LeBron, good enough to be the first overall pick. It's gotten to the point a solid college season can even mean some publications calling you the #1 overall pick when you average 12 points a game, but just at the right school and for the right coach, or had the right high school track record. Ty Washington came into the league the beneficiary of building the right pre-NBA track record and found himself in a situation he literally had no choice but to enter the draft, and now here we are. He's already been traded twice, waived, and is now on a 2-way contract with his foot just about out the NBA door, all in just 2 seasons. For Ty Washington specifically, mostly for these reasons. What happened? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Ty Washington Jr. is a 6'3" point guard from Phoenix, Arizona that was a standout high school prospect since his sophomore season, where he was already putting up All-American numbers. He transferred to Arizona Campus Prep for his junior and senior seasons, averaging 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists, barely missing out on a McDonald's All-American spot, but making the Jordan Brand Classic roster as a top 5 point guard and top 15 overall in the country. He committed to Kentucky after his decommitment from Creighton, and leaving high school, he wasn't pinpointed as a one-and-done prospect until he had his back-to-back 20-point games early into his freshman year, and then another 3-game stretch where he had 17 points and 17 assists against Georgia, 15 the next game, then 28 points against another victim of the one-and-done curse, Kennedy Chandler in Tennessee. He'd have a solid conference tournament individually also, finishing averaging 12.5 points, 3.9 assists on 35% from 3, declaring for the draft after losing in the first round of the tournament. Stunt number 1, lack of NBA athleticism.
A lot of coaches had a lot of knocks. They said I had a lot of knocks in my game as far as like unathletic, slow.
In the position Ty Washington is in, which on the NBA level would be point guard, the first thing I'm looking for to jump out at me is, does he have the athleticism that clearly translate to the highest level? Keeping in mind athleticism doesn't only mean his vertical jump. In the case of Tyrese Maxey, he wasn't a big-time scorer in college either, but he was in the 90th percentile in speed and quickness when tested at the draft combine, and to the eye, he was clearly talented enough to be one of the fastest in the NBA as well. Washington has always been average when it comes to athleticism, and what could make up for it he also didn't have, which is a dominant size and strength. 6'3" is solid point guard height, but in my opinion, Washington doesn't play like his height matches what it says on paper. If I somehow saw him in person, or you told me he was really 5'11", I wouldn't question it because that's how he plays on the floor. How you play is really all that matters. If you're a jump out the gym athlete and you aren't particularly fast or quick or strong, then how effective can I expect you to be? Ty, to me, has what I describe as a player who hasn't quite yet grown into his man body, and he probably won't at this point, which hurts his on-court game because he struggles finding an athletic advantage on a nightly basis, while the opposing team has a guy that can make him a liability on defense as well. 4 years in college may not have helped much in speed, but strength and developing his frame more, it would have. But playing for a program like Kentucky and Coach Calipari, you're almost forced out sooner than what's good for you with their top 5 roster reloads every year. In the league, Washington shot 35% from the field in his career. A lot of that has to do with not being athletic enough to get more easier shots for himself. Stunt number 2, lack of NBA level jump shot. Another red flag for me when looking at a point guard in today's environment is can he shoot the ball at an elite level, especially if he isn't a size or athleticism force. Trae Young comes to mind. He's the exact opposite of Ty Washington. Young is saved by his ability to shoot the deep ball, and from any distance he's at least a threat. This opens up lanes for him to drive because the defense is playing him closely, which opens up opportunity for more assists as well. In college, Washington attempted 3 threes a game and made 35% of them. Not bad, but when you consider the other key elements he lacks, you can easily see and project that unless he makes a serious adjustment, he likely won't be of much help to an NBA team. After coming in as the 29th overall pick in the first round of the 2022 draft by the Memphis Grizzlies, he was immediately traded to the Timberwolves and then to the Houston Rockets. He shot 23% from 3 as a rookie in 14 minutes per game, leaving defenses with an easy task guarding a guy that either isn't confident from deep or he just can't shoot on the NBA level with a deeper line than in college, and he doesn't have the blow-by speed to get too far ahead of the defense. In his second season for the Bucks, he shot 33%, a little better, but still only over an 11-game sample before being sent to the G League. A great jump shot can add years to a player's career, and for his lack of one, Ty Washington is moving further and further in the opposite direction. In 22-23, he played 8 games in the G League with Houston's affiliate and shot 25% from 3. In 23-24 and 24 games, he shot 42% from 3, which is excellent, but it has yet to translate to an NBA floor. Developing that can help his game and longevity greatly. Stunt number 3, not effective anywhere else. A last requirement for me in choosing a prospect that hopes to be one and done or enter the draft early, especially a point guard, is what does he do great on the floor that isn't necessarily shooting or scoring? Does he rebound effectively, especially on the offensive glass? Does he defend well enough to keep quick guards at least at bay? Does he create opportunities for his teammates at a high level? And does he have the charisma to lead a group of men who aspire to win a championship? Can he pretty much lead a franchise and its culture if called on? For me, with a first-round pick, Ty Washington would not be the choice. Not accusing him of being a bad player because he did have a good G League season last year where he did a lot more than in the NBA, but on that level, nothing else stands out. 1 rebound, 1 assist, under 1 steal a game, 56% from the free throw line, 24% from 3, and 35% from the field. Those aren't encouraging numbers, nor does he provide personality to a team or lead vocally from that position. To me, he looks like a player outclassed and still figuring it out on the NBA level, and it's caused him to pretty much be possibly on his last NBA legs. All in all, Ty Washington did what he was supposed to. He struck the iron while it was hottest, and it resulted in him at least being able to say he made the NBA as a first-round draft pick. But is that enough? He had the gift of being rewarded with a first-round pick after he left school way too early, but the curse of not being ready to be effective, and for these reasons, his growth was stunted. Salute, much respect. Hopefully, he can get another shot in the NBA. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.